Our planet Earth. It is inhabited by approximately 6 billion people. The story of each one of them, singular, unique, partly happy, sometimes hard, or even tragic, has begun at one specific moment, the moment of conception. Combination of gametes belonging to a mother and a father. Sperm cells enter the organism of a woman before she is fertilized. They have a hard way to go. Many of them will get lost, lose their strength, will be immobilized. Through the uterus, the sperm cells head toward the fallopian tubes, where the ovum awaits them. Those of the sperm cells which make it to the target have a go at entering it. The enzymes of the most successful sperm cells help it to enter the ovum. Only one of them will unite with the ovum. Union between the male reproductive cell, the sperm cell, and the female ovum is the beginning of the life of a human. A child begins its life as a single cell with a diameter of approximately 1/10 of a millimeter. All features of a man, including sex, the color of eyes, hair, skin, face traits, body construction, and height, are defined at the moment of union between the genetic material of a mother and a father. The life of a new human being has begun. Nine months of fascinating and spectacularly intensive development awaits it before it is born. A highly specialized new organism will emerge with a brain composed of 100 billion cells, joined by millions of ever-changing connections. After it is conceived, the child travels several days through the fallopian tubes until it reaches the uterus, where it implants itself into the mucous membrane of the uterine walls. At the time of implantation, the human embryo is composed of several hundred cells and has a diameter of 1/1400th of a millimeter. The conceived human being, the new man, is approximately 1/10 millimeter high, yet it already has the precise genetic data for amazing further developments. The first cell of the conceived child contains more information than all the systems of NASA Space Center in Florida. We admire the magnificent skyscrapers, works of art, spaceships, but do we remember that they were created by a man who began his life as a single cell, not larger than the full stop at the end of this sentence? From the moment he's conceived, the little man develops independently, according to the unique plan recorded in his genotype, at the same time drawing the nourishing substances from the external world by the means of his mother's organism. On the 21st day, the heart starts beating. At the same time, the eyes are formed as well. At the end of the 4th week, we can already discern the lens. Week 5. The heart is formed to a great extent. Spontaneous bending of the spine and the nape of the neck appears as it does its raising and falling. The visible little hands and little legs move. Week 6. The skeleton of the child forms. Kidneys, lungs, liver, and the heart are already functioning. At this time, it is already possible to observe the activity of the child's brain by means of an EEG test. At the end of the second month of life, all the basic internal organs have already been formed. They are placed the right way, and they are functioning. The liver and the spleen produce the hematopoietic cells. The stomach excretes digestive juices, while the kidneys pick up the urinary acid that accumulates in the blood of the child as a result of the metabolism. The upcoming months will be dedicated to the perfection and development of the child necessary for it to be able to live outside the mother's womb. In the middle of the 7th week, the child's skin in the vicinity of the lips becomes sensitive to touch, and slight tickling causes the whole body of the child to react. Week 9. The sense of touch is being perfected. An eyelid closes itself when it is being tickled, while the hand clenches itself into a little fist. The neurons in the spinal cord start sending the neural signals to the distinct limbs so that they can move more separately. The olfactory nerve is formed. Week 10. The child exercises movement balancing in the uterus. It stretches, jumps, yawns, touches its head with a hand, moves its lips, makes rotating movements around the body's axis. The movement protects its body against adhering to the uterus. Week 11. The child is very active now. It can move continuously around 8 minutes and then rests less than 6 minutes. The little man turns his head, opens and closes his mouth, wrinkles his brows, and makes faces. Laughter, sneezing, or coughing of his mother activates him. The human nose forms between the 11th and 15th week of life. Amniotic fluid fills the ears and nasal orifices, thanks to which the child learns to distinguish smells. Week 12. The glands that produce saliva develop. The child starts to swallow the amniotic fluid. The sense of taste takes shape. It has been observed that when glucose is added to the amniotic fluid, the child swallows twice as much of it. On the other hand, when bitter or sour substance is injected into the amniotic fluid, the child swallows much less of it. Some children even make faces on this occasion. The children dance in the uterus, connected with the placenta by the umbilical cord, just like an astronaut with a spaceship. Week 13. The fine grooves of the epidermis form papillary lines characterized by the individually specific system conditioned by the genetic makeup on the ventral surface of the fingers, of the hands and feet, so that in the 16th week from conception, the main papillary lines are formed completely. At the end of the 3rd month, the child demonstrates individual features in its behavior. The muscles on his face assume a layout which is in keeping with the inherited features. Langot hair appears on the skin of the child. Buds of nails and deciduous teeth appear. The marrow starts producing blood cells. The liver, bile, pancreas, insulin, while the pituitary gland, growth hormone. The little man is approximately 9 centimeters high, and he weighs around 30 grams. Week 14. The auricular apparatus is fully developed. The child hears the sounds coming first from the mother's organism, and then those from the external sources as well. The child hears its voice, beating of her heart, circulation of her blood, the noses from the respiratory and digestive systems, and sounds of its own heart. The light reaches the uterus through the skin of the mother's belly in the form of a glow. The child develops in the orange and brown darkness of the maternal womb, which is the reason for dimming the lights when we wish to take a rest, relax, and feel safe when we're older. Before it is born, the child recognizes the intensity of the light. From the 26th week on, it reacts to sudden lighting of the mother's stomach. Sixth month of pregnancy. The REM sleep cycle with the characteristic dreams appear. In the 7th week of pregnancy, the children are already capable of crying. The scientists observed that what can be recognized as crying as a response to an inoffensive noise. Week 15. The whole body of the child reacts to touch. Pressure exerted upon the mother's stomach causes the child to counteract. The child twists, turns its own axis, and kicks. It tries to avoid touching or puncturing by making defensive movements. In the 4th month of pregnancy, its heart pumps around 30 liters of blood daily. The research conducted until the 16th week showed that a child makes 30,000 different movements during a day. In the 17th week of life, the child's reaction to its mother stresses their own stress. In the following weeks, the child exercises suckling movements. In the 18th and 20th week, the child's hair, brows, and eyelashes grow. Week 20. The child's activity becomes regular and changes cyclically. At the turn of the 5th and 6th month, the child develops an ability to function in 2 states of wake and sleep. The child starts moving in an individual way, influenced by the inherited temperament, as well as the mother's way of life and her activity. In the 22nd week of life, the child weighs approximately 500 grams and is 30 centimeters high. Despite this inconspicuous size, premature babies born at this time can survive. Between 4th and 5th month of pregnancy, sex of the child can be recognized by the means of an ultrasound examination, although it is determined at the moment of conception whether the mother will give birth to a girl or a boy. The prenatal period is extremely significant as a part of our life. It has a great influence on the way we perceive the world, the way we think, the way we learn, react, and dream. Yet we don't have any memories of that time. Traces of memories pertain to the sensual sensations, positions of movements of the body, biorhythm, and dominating frame of mind. The prenatal memory makes the child adopt fetal position straight after birth, and in the later life, this curled up position has a relaxing effect during the sleep and at the moments of stress. After 9 months of living in the mother's womb, the child is born. After 9 months of living in the mother's womb, the child is born. That's what, in short, its life looks like from the moment of conception until birth. Each of these conceived yet unborn children, regardless of sex, color of skin, or health, deserves highest respect, proper care, and most of all, unconditional love of mother and father. The newborn child will develop for a long time to come. Until at approximately 20 years of age, it will reach full biological and psychological development, and in the future will give beginning to a new life.